Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about project configuration file that we already did. So we'll talk about index.ts, llm.ts, also tsconfig.json file. So we will talk about in detail what about each line mean. So let's move to our VS Code. So in our VS Code we created llm.ts file. Let me close this terminal for now. Also this index.ts. So let me remove this 0 because we are not passing anything here. And if we talk about this llm.ts, so here we are calling this chat ollama, and we are using here ollama.base URL. So this base URL coming from .env file. If I go here, so this is the our in your machine must be local host, and this is the port ollama is running. Okay, so we got this value in this variable, and we are passing a temperature. By default we are taking 0.7. So temperature always will be between 0 to 1. So it means how much creative answer you want. So you need to give 0, no creative answer, and if 1, 100% creative answer. So right now we are taking default 0.7. So let's suppose if we pass here 0. So and if we run here our this npm run b1. So if we run this command, and you will see this query output with no no creativity. So we got this answer. If we pass here 1, for example, so we got a too much creative answer. Okay, so you can see it got changed. Even our model is too much small, even we got the creative answer. Okay, that's the mean of this temperature. Okay, let's talk about this system message and human messages. Let me clear this, and for now let's keep it 7.5 only in this LLM, and we are passing a temperature. This is the base URL. This model we are using, it's simple I guess, and no extra thing we are using here. Let's talk about the system message. System message by default we added here one line reply. So whenever you got any output, you got a one line reply. For example, if I run here one more time, you got an answer in one line. If I minimize this for now, yeah, you got this one line answer. Let's suppose you want anything more here. So please add 3 dots in starting and end of output. Okay, so it will add 3 dots. Let's see what output we got. Let me clear this one more time, and if I run here, so you will see the output. You see it's automatically added 3 dot starting and end. If I ask here another query, let's suppose what is API, what is JavaScript. Okay, if I clear this out, and it is running now, and we got this output in one line, also added 3 dot. So this system messages, if anything default changes you want in the output, you can customize from here. And let me undo this. Okay, so if I undo this changes, because I did for explanation only. Okay, now if we talk about this console.log, this response we got too much big JSON object, so we are displaying only content. If we talk about this, so we are calling this main function. If any error in this main function, because this is the asynchronous and we are doing one call also, so this will log our error. Okay, so if I throw any error, throw new error found, so it will automatically log this error here. If I run this, and now it's running error found. So you see this log happened because of this. So this is the mean of this line. Hope you got it. Now let's talk about this tsconfig.json that we added here in tsconfig. Okay, let me close this because this is not required. And if I talk about this one, okay, let me close this. To explain this, I'm going to open one website that called online TypeScript compiler. If I come in this TS Playground and this is loaded, let me clear this out. Okay, so in our here we targeted this ES2022. Why we did this target? If we come here in and if we add here const fruit, fruit, fruits is equal to, let me add here array, and first fruit, let's example banana, second is apple, third is mango, and we want to fetch here last fruit. Okay, so what we can do, fruits dot add and -1 for last. You can see we are getting error. Console.log, if I do here last, so we are getting error. Why we are getting? Because if you click here tsconfig, we are using ES 2027. So this add came in ES 2022. Even our Node.js know this add syntax, but this TypeScript doesn't know. So Node.js 20 plus supported this add, but TypeScript only supported ES 2022. So these kind of syntax we want to use. So that's why we added here this target ES 2022. Okay, let's talk about this module ES next and this bundle. So what exactly happened? If we come back here and if we do here, for example, we created one function called get LLM that we created from shared LLM. So that we created in our local, but we are using here for example. Okay, just imagine we created and we are not getting any error. Okay, so what happened? Export const and LLM is equal to get LLM, and here we need to pass temperature. So let's suppose we are passing a 1. Okay, and if we come here, let me set it here null. So if we talk about this module and module resolution bundle, so we set it here ES next. So if we do here common.js, for example, you can see it's automatically converted in require. You see JavaScript automatically converted in require, but we are using here LangChain B1. So for LangChain B1, we need to use here this kind of syntax. So this kind of syntax only available in ES next. So that's why we did here this module ESLint and module resolution bundler. So this bundler is not available here, but we can see this configuration, this module ES next here. Okay, now let's talk about this lib and type node. So these two be used because we are using here this process.env. Also, if let's suppose we are using here console.log, for example, console.log underscore dir. So these kind of syntax like buffer syntax we want to use. So that time we are using these two, and these two are not available in this configuration. In this configuration, these two are not available. We are installing by a package. You can see this package we installed, type nodes, then only we got these two. Okay, and if we talk about this ES module interrupter, so if we come back here and if we search here ES module interrupter, you see this one. So if you like, we are using this kind of syntax. Let's suppose we are import express from express. if you want to use this kind of syntax, that time we need to enable this ES module interrupter. If you keep it false, so you need to use require syntax requirement. Okay, now let's talk about, so these both we need to enable to use this kind of syntax like that we are using. And if you are not doing this, so you need to use your required one. Okay, now let's talk about this allow syntax default import. So whenever we use here this kind of default import, maybe somewhere we are using, no, we are not using. So let's suppose be doing here export default base URL. So like that we are exporting, and we want to use here this base URL. So we can use here like here only base URL. So this from is not required. Okay, so this get LLM bytes came here. Okay, so these kind of default export we want to use, that time we need to do this allow synthetic default inputs. So that only default import will support. Okay, let me undo this. Also here. Okay, now let's talk about resolve JSON module. So what happened, let's suppose you are importing any JSON file. So you want to import here, for example, import tsconfig. This only JSON file you want to import from slash tsconfig. So this much is supporting because of this line. I'm not talking about this JSON file, I'm talking about any other JSON file if you want to import. So that time you need to use this thing. Strict true. Basically, let's suppose you are creating any function. For example, if I come back in browser and here, let me remove this. And we are creating a function called function, and name is get name. That will take text string, okay, and return text only. Okay, and you are calling here get name. Okay, so you see you are getting error because it's expecting argument and you are not passing. You are getting because of this strict true only. That's why if you not do it, you will not get any error. And skip library check. Basically, whenever we build our module, so if this is false, so they will check this also, this system message, human message, everything will check. So build will take too much time. So that's why we are skipping this skip library check. If we talk about this, if we talk about this force consistent causing in file name. Okay, so why we are using here? Let's suppose we define here get LLM and remove this, and let's suppose we want to import this here. Okay, so inside that shared we have one file called LLM. So we did name like this. Okay, this is the capital letter and this is the ESLint error. Just ignore that. And if we open here terminal, and now if we run npm run b1, you see this will run because even this name is different. We are getting the output. Why we are getting? Because we are doing here for consistent causing in file name. Okay, let me undo this. Also, this output directory we will create here dist folder whenever we build. So that time this dist file will create, and we got all the compiled file in this dist directory. Root directory, so we are defining here root directory. This is the all directory. And if we talk about this paths, so we are defining our shared file as a path. So whenever do imports, so we can do like this. Okay, and this is the include. So we are including only in this build, this outer directory build, src and shared. We are excluding node modules. This file we don't want to build. Also dist. Once we build, dist folder will create. So we want to exclude that also. So this is the explanation of this tsconfig. and hope you got it, and you can try this with changing these settings from here. You got a clear idea. But main thing is here, this target, this must be need to be ES22. Also this module must be need to ES next. Okay, hope you got it, and we will continue in next video in detail about the next part of the video. Okay, thank you so much guys.